Thank you, Your Honor. Are we ready to start?
Yes, yes, sir.
Now, I understand that you've testified a number of times about some of the events that we touched on yesterday, right?
Yes.
Has there ever been anything in any of those prior sworn statements or testimony that you've given that has prevented you from telling the truth?
No.
And is all of your prior sworn testimony, including the testimony you gave yesterday, true and accurate to the best of your knowledge?
Yes.
Are you here today on behalf of one side or the other? And by that, I mean on behalf of Amber or on behalf of Johnny?
No.
Would you consider yourself adverse or hostile to either party?
No.
Any other time that you can remember?
Not specifically, no.
Was there a name for what you describe as Mr. Depp's different self?
Yes.
What was that name?
We called it the monster.
Who is we?
All of us. Me, Johnny, Amber, and anyone else in the inner circle that was privy to the private things that would happen.
How do you know that Johnny called it the monster?
He named it that.
You heard him refer to this other version of himself as the monster directly?
Either heard or saw it written in a text.
Did you receive texts from Mr. Depp referring to this other version of himself as the monster?
I can't remember specifically any of them.
But you do recall hearing or reading Mr. Depp directly referring to himself as the monster?
Yes.
And why did you do that?
She asked for my help.
And over the course of your relationship, when Amber needed your help, you tried to be there for her, right?
Yes.
What do you mean by scary?
I was scared for Amber. I was sad for her, and I was also sad for Johnny. Because he is my friend, too. And I really wanted them to be able to get it together.
Why were you scared for Amber?
He could be very unpredictable. And she didn't have a lot of self-preservation.
What specifically, what type of harm were you worried about for Amber?
In the beginning, I wasn't worried. Towards the end, when the physical abuse was more evident, I was worried. I was worried for her physical safety. I was worried that when he turned, he might accidentally do something that was worse than he ever intended.
When you say, talk about abuse, is this signs of abuse that you personally observed?
Can you explain what you mean specifically by that?
Did you observe physical effects on Amber of that abuse?
Yes.
You testified a little bit yesterday about an incident between Johnny and Amber that took place in Hicksville. You remember that?
Yes.
Tell me as best you can everything that you remember about that.
We were sitting around the campfire. I don't remember who the larger group was. And Amber and Kelly Sue were sitting on a chair together, hugging. And Johnny came up and said, "Get your hands off my woman." And it was surprising because it was a very benign, two friends sitting on the same chair, hanging out. And it was also surprising because Johnny had been hanging out with everybody in a friendly way, and a switch flipped when that happened. And Amber got up, went to go comfort Johnny, and then they went back to their trailer.
How would you describe Johnny's tone when he said, "Get off my woman"?
At first, I thought it was a joke. I thought he was kidding because it was so unexpected from the way that the rest of the night had been going. And then at some point, I think Amber realized that it was not a joke and got up to diffuse the situation.
Did you perceive Kelly Sue to be acting inappropriately in any way toward Miss Heard?
No.
Had you seen when you said a switch flipped in Mr. Depp? That was your testimony, right?
Just now?
Yeah, just now.
Yeah.
Was it surprising to you to see?
No.
And why not?
He switched sometimes.
And what do you mean by that when you say he switched?
Johnny would be acting like his wonderful self for a certain portion of an occasion where people were hanging out, or sometimes just privately at home. And I never knew what caused it. The switch would happen to where he would either disappear or go somewhere off by himself, or his mood would change to something darker. And yeah.
What do you recall? And we'll get to specific instance in a little bit, but when you say his mood would change to something darker, do you remember any specific examples of times that you witnessed when his mood changed to something darker?
Can't remember at this moment specific times when it would happen. Generally, he would go away from where the rest of the people were. Amber would follow to comfort. Sometimes they wouldn't come back, sometimes they would.
Okay. And tell us about the next morning at Hicksville, what you saw and observed.
I went to the trailer to go knock on the door. I think they had already left, though. I went in and saw the disarray.
Describe the disarray as best you can.
Like I said yesterday, the light fixtures had been knocked off. Things were strewn about the trailer, cushions off the couch bank.
Over the course of now you've known Miss Heard since 2003, right?
Yes.
Have you ever known her to knock light fixtures off a wall?
No.
Have you ever known her to throw pillows and cushions off couches?
No.
Have you ever known her to get in a rage and destroy property?
No.
Have you ever known her to threaten someone's life?
No.
What did Amber tell you? Did you ever have a conversation with Miss Heard about what happened in that trailer in Hicksville? Yes. I'd like to fast forward a little bit in time, Ms. Pennington, to an episode that we talked about yesterday to some extent. Do you remember being with Amber after something that happened the day before she went on the James Corden show in December 2015?
Yes.
What do you remember? And I know this is painful and emotional, but give me your best recollection of what you recall from that time period.
From the night before?
Were you with Amber the night before the James Corden appearance?
Yes.
And were you with her the day of the James Corden appearance?
Yes.
And did you observe Miss Heard and Miss Heard's residence the day before the James Corden appearance and the day of the James Corden appearance?
Yes.
So with that, tell me everything that you can remember, starting with the day before. And I may interrupt you and ask you to clarify certain things, but that's everything you remember.
So she asked me to come over to her residence, PH3 or PH5. I don't remember which one I entered. And she was very upset. Her face was red, swollen. The hair had been ripped out of her head. I went through all of the penthouses. She didn't cancel. I don't think I even slept that night watching her just to make sure she didn't.
Is that because you were worried she had a concussion?
Yes.
Why did you tell her that you were going to go take pictures throughout the penthouses?
Why wouldn't I?
Ms. Pennington, I'm gonna. You saw a few selected pictures yesterday. I'm gonna show you a number of pictures today that we need to go through, and I'll ask you some questions about them. Okay?
Are you able to see Exhibit 15?
Yeah, I can see it. Can you, Ms. Pennington?
Yes.
Ms. Pennington, does this picture truly and accurately depict Ms. Heard's appearance on December 2015, during the night that you just discussed?
Yes.
Do you know whether or not you took this picture?
I do not.
That you were with Ms. Heard that evening after the incident?
I was.
What room was this taken in?
This is the bathroom of Johnny and Amber's bedroom in PH3.
What injuries, if any, do you observe on Ms. Heard in this picture?
Her right eye has a mark and a bruise. Her nose is swollen. There's bruising on her left eye as well.
And Exhibit 16 is up.
What is this picture of Ms. Pennington?
It is a picture of Amber's face with bruising and a mark on her right eye, swelling on her nose, bruising on the left eye, in the same bathroom.
And when was this picture taken?
I assume the same night.
Is that the night in December 2015 that you've been testifying about for the last few minutes?
Yeah.
Do you see behind Ms. Heard's left ear, there's a picture on the wall, and then a writing, a note above the picture?
Yes.
What is that note signed? If you can tell.
Steve.
To your understanding, who is Steve?
Johnny.
And what does it say right above that?
It says, "You're Steve."
What's the line above that say?
Eternally? Something, always, up, 3 exclamation points. Love you eternally, your Steve.
And Steve, in that note, refers to the same man that you understood to have inflicted these injuries on Ms. Heard, correct?
Yes.
And does this picture truly and accurately reflect what you observed on Ms. Heard in that night in December 2015?
Partially.
When you said partially, What do you mean by that?
You can't see the rest of the injuries.
What other injuries are you referring to?
The hair being pulled out.
Exhibit 17 is up.
What is this a picture of, Ms. Pennington?
Amber's face turned at a slight profile with a bruise on her eye, swelling on her nose.
And when was this picture taken?
Appears to be the same night, same moment of the previous two pictures.
Does this picture fairly and accurately depict, at least in part, Ms. Heard's appearance on that night?
Yes.
Exhibit 18 is up.
What is this document, Ms. Pennington?
It's a photo of Amber's face with two black eyes and swollen bottom lip.
Did you take this photo?
I don't remember.
You said a swollen nose.
Yes.
Does this picture fairly and accurately depict, at least in part, Ms. Heard's appearance on that night in December 15, 2015?
Yes.
Did you take pictures of Ms. Heard that night?
Yes.
You believe that you took this picture?
I don't know.
But in any event, it accurately reflects what Ms. Heard's appearance from that evening.
Yes.
Exhibit 19 is up.
And I'm sorry this is so hard, Ms. Pennington. We just need to get through as the best we can. What is this picture?
This is Amber's face turned a profile, showing more of her bottom bloody lip and her right bruised eye.
And what night does this, or when does this show Amber?
It appears to be the same night and the same series of photos as before.
Where was this picture taken, if you know?
And, it's in the bedroom, facing she's sitting on the bed and it's facing the windows.
Was anyone with you and Amber that night after you came over?
I don't think so, no.
So is it fair to assume that either you or Amber took this picture?
Yes.
Does it look like Ms. Heard took this picture?
No.
Do you recall taking this picture?
I took a lot of pictures. It would be... Yes.
Does Ms. Heard's lower lip look like it's just chapped?
No, it does not.
Does it look like she just has a cold sore?
It does not look like a cold sore.
Exhibit 20 is up.
What is this a picture of, Ms. Pennington?
This is a picture of Amber's hairline, a scratch injury on the hairline, and my thumb holding the hair back so that you can see it.
Does this picture depict marks that you saw on Amber on the night in December 2015 that we've been discussing?
Or the next morning.
One or the other?
Yes.
And Lucas, if you could just go back really quickly to the last picture, please, Pennington 19. I may have asked you this, Ms. Pennington, but I just want to make clear for the record, does this picture fairly and accurately depict Ms. Heard's appearance on that night in December 15, 2015 that we've been discussing?
Yes.
Exhibit 21 is up.
What is this a picture of, Ms. Pennington?
This is a close-up picture of the side of Amber's nose and mouth. She has,
Did you take? Go ahead. Go ahead.
She has a swelling and an injury on her bottom lip.
Are there any other injuries you observe in this picture?
And see, you could see at the top of the photo, bruising on her eye and the small mark underneath her bottom eyelid.
Did Ms. Heard, did she typically have that small mark underneath her eye or bruising around her eyes?
She did not usually have that small mark or bruising underneath her eyes.
Did she typically have injuries to her lip?
Sometimes.
And over the course of your friendship with Ms. Heard during the time that she was in a relationship with Mr. Depp, how often would you all communicate?
Sorry, can you repeat that question?
During the time that Ms. Heard was in a relationship with Mr. Depp, how often would you communicate with Ms. Heard? Like every day?
When she was filming, less. When she was home, all the time.
And you just testified, I believe it wasn't the only incident in which you observed injuries to Ms. Heard's face or lips, correct?
Correct.
Were there any other times that you observed injuries to Ms. Heard's face or lips?
Yes.
Exhibit 22 is up.
What is this a picture of, Ms. Pennington?
Picture is hair pulled back to show the abrasion on the scalp where hair has been removed.
Whose head is that?
That's Amber's head.
Was this, do you know when this picture was taken?
Either the night of the event or the next day.
And by event, you're referring to the event in December of 2015 that we've been talking about?
Yes.
Do you recall taking this picture, Ms. Pennington, of Ms. Heard's scalp?
Yes.
Does this picture fairly and accurately depict the top of Ms. Heard's scalp during the day of or at the day after the December 2015 incident that you've been giving testimony about?
Yes.
Exhibit 23 is up.
What is this a picture of, Ms. Pennington?
This is a picture of a clump of Amber's hair on the black carpet of the bedroom of PH4 with my finger there to show the scale of the hair.
Did you take this picture?
Yes.
When did you take this picture?
Either the night of the event, the December, the occurrence that we've been talking about.
In December of 2015?
Yes.
And how did you know that that was Amber's hair?
Hair had been ripped out of her head. This is the color of her hair. It's her home.
And this, you said, was in the bedroom of Penthouse 5?
4.
Have you ever known Miss Heard to pull out clumps of her own hair?
No.
Miss Heard ever paint on bruises or use makeup to make it appear as if she had a bruise when in fact she didn't, to your knowledge?
No, the opposite.
What do you mean when you say the opposite?
She often had to cover bruises and injuries on her face with makeup.
Did you see her cover bruises on her face with makeup?
Yes.
Can we pull up the document titled December 2015 ALH 28_B, please? What is this picture, Miss Pennington?
It is a picture of Amber. She has a small mark underneath her right eye. She has her coat and her shirt on. They're in the kitchen. She's in the kitchen of PH3.
Do you know when or approximately when this picture was taken?
The day following the December event or the day after, maybe. I don't know exactly when.
And did you take this picture?
I don't know.
Does it fairly and accurately depict Amber's appearance on the day you described?
On one of the days following, yes.
Exhibit 25 is up.
Do you know what this is a picture of, Ms. Pennington?
This is a picture of the nightstand on the right side of the bed in Johnny and Amber's bedroom in PH3. It has a lamp that's fallen down, a book of rolling papers, half a lemon, a plastic coffee mug of Infinitum Nihil, which is Johnny's production company, a bottle of Tums, a bottle of tea, broken glass, and a small blue book on the floor that I can't make out what that is.
Did you ever know Amber to break glass next to her bed?
No.
What's your knowledge about Mr. Depp's tendency to break things made of glass?
My knowledge is that I saw him do it once, and then I saw the aftermath of him breaking glass many times.
And on that evening in December 2015, did you see that we've been discussing? Did you see broken glass around the residence?
Yes.
Let's go to the next picture, December 2015, ALH_509_B. You've seen this picture before. What's this a picture of, Ms. Pennington?
This is a picture of the platform bed in the bedroom of penthouse 4. The edge of the platform bed has a shard of wood that has broken off onto the floor.
Did you take this picture?
Yes.
When did you take it?
Either the night of the event or the next day.
And when you say event, what are you referring to?
The December 15th event that we've been speaking about.
You said December 15th. You mean December 2015?
Yes, sorry, 2015.
Where is this bed in the residence?
This is in the penthouse 4. It's the middle penthouse between the main residence, PH3, Amber's closet, PH5. This is the one of the rooms that you walk through to get to go through the upper story of the homes.
Have you ever known Miss Heard to destroy a bed frame?
No.
Have you ever known? Go ahead. Sorry.
No.
Have you ever known Miss Heard to destroy furniture generally?
No.
Ms. Pennington, in all the photos that you have taken of evidence or incidents or the aftermath of incidents between Amber and Johnny, have you ever done anything to alter those photos or, make them appear to depict something that wasn't actually there or wasn't actually real?
No.
I want to talk about the day of the Late Late Show. When I say that, do you understand I'm referring to Amber's appearance on the James Corden show?
Yes.
The Late Late Show with James Corden. Were you with Amber when she got ready for her appearance on that show?
Yes.
Who else was present?
Adir, who's her hairstylist, Melanie, her makeup artist, and Samantha, her stylist.
Were you there when her hair and makeup was being styled or put on before her appearance on James Corden?
Yes.
Did you see anyone paint on a wound on her lip or put makeup on her face to make it appear that there was a wound on her lip?
No.
Did you observe anyone ripping clumps of her hair out of her head?
No.
Ms. Pennington, did you to the extent that it's alleged that Ms. Heard had no injuries when she went on the James Corden show, what is your reaction to that?
My reaction is that is a false assessment or statement.
And what's the basis for that testimony?
Because I saw injuries on her body from the time directly after they happened throughout the next night, the next day, and as they continued to heal.
In the time that you spent with Johnny, did he ever express a similar sentiment that he was screw up or fuck up, in his words?
Yes.
And what did you tell me what you can remember about the instances when he said that and what your understanding was of what he meant?
My understanding was that he was sorry and apologetic, and
For what?
for his behavior.
When you say behavior, what are you referring to?
Verbal arguments, physical arguments.
And that was what he made clear to you in things that he said to you. Is that right?
What he made clear to me in our conversations was that he was very sorry and that he was working to get clean and get better, and that he was asking for forgiveness and trying to think that he was going to get better.
Did you ever see him get better?
Yeah.
When?
A lot of times.
But did you ever see him get better permanently?
No.
Your Honor, at this point, we start questioning Ms. Pennington about